Imagine this: you wake up tomorrow just like every other day. The world outside is the same. The sun rises the way it always does. Your phone buzzes. The news talks about the same problems. Nothing has changed, except one thing. You decide before the day ends to give yourself just 1 hour, not for work, not for chores, not for distractions, an hour that belongs entirely to you, to your growth, your mind, your future. And then you do it again the next day, and the next and the next. Now let me ask you a question. What would your life look like 6 months from now if you did that? A year from now, 5 years? It's an almost frightening question because somewhere inside we know the answer: everything would change. Your skills would multiply, your confidence would rise. You would think differently, act differently, carry yourself differently. That 1 hour would quietly rewrite the story of your life. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, there was a young man who worked long hours in a factory. He had no special education, no wealth, no connections. By every measure he was ordinary, but he made a decision. Every evening, no matter how tired he was, he would dedicate 1 hour to studying success, reading books, listening to great thinkers, taking notes, reflecting. He did this for years. The world outside didn't notice at first. His friends didn't notice. Even his family thought it was strange. But slowly he began to change. His ideas grew sharper. His speech became more confident. He was promoted. He took risks. He started a business. Years later, he was unrecognizable compared to the young man who had first started this journey. And when people asked him the secret, he said, "I just used 1 hour a day to get a little better. And that hour changed everything." Ooh, my friend, that is the power we are talking about today, the 1 hour rule. Most people underestimate what an hour can do. They think, what's the point? It's too small to matter. But here is a truth I want you to never forget: 1 focused hour every single day is enough to put you among the most extraordinary people in your field, in your community, even in the world. The problem is not that we don't have enough time. It's that we don't claim the time we already have. The world will always be busy, noisy, distracting. There will always be messages, notifications, and emergencies fighting for your attention. And yet, hidden inside every day is this golden hour, 60 minutes that can either slip through your fingers or become the foundation of your new life. Think about it. 1 hour a day is 7 hours a week. In a year, that's 365 hours. The equivalent of 9 full-time work weeks spent entirely on becoming the best version of yourself. If someone offered you 9 extra weeks a year to build your dream life, would you take them? Of course you would. And yet most people throw those weeks away 1 hour at a time, scrolling, worrying, complaining, waiting for things to change. Today I invite you to make a different choice, because this rule, the 1 hour rule, is not just about time management. It is about life management. It is about reclaiming control of the most precious resource you have: your attention, your focus, your energy. Over the next hour, I am going to take you on a journey into the heart of what makes change possible. So we will explore why this 1 hour matters so much, how to protect it, how to use it, and what it will do for you if you are willing to honor it every single day. But before we go deeper, I want you to pause and picture this: the life you truly want, the person you know you could become, the courage, the freedom, the success, the peace of mind. All of it is waiting on the other side of just one decision: to claim your hour, to stop letting it slip away, to stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Because if you give yourself just 1 hour a day, just one, you will change the trajectory of your entire life. And today, we begin. The power of 1 hour. The first truth we must understand about this rule is simple yet profound: 1 hour has the power to shape the destiny of your entire life. We often dismiss an hour as small, as insignificant, as something we can afford to waste. But nothing could be further from the truth. An hour is a seed. It is potential in its purest form. And when you plant that seed deliberately every day, you are creating a future that most people will only dream about. Consider how most people spend their hours. They slip away unnoticed, swallowed by distraction, social media, meaningless entertainment, conversations that go nowhere. This is not a criticism. It is simply the reality of the modern world. We are busy, we are tired, and we crave comfort. But if you are listening to me right now, you already know you were made for something more. You already feel that stirring inside, that quiet voice that says, "Could be better, I could be stronger, I could do more." That voice is calling you to claim your hour. Imagine an artist with a blank canvas. If she paints for just 1 hour every day, she may not notice a difference after the first day or even the first week. But stay with her for a year. Watch as those daily hours turn into a gallery of work. Watch how her skill deepens, her style becomes unmistakable, her confidence grows. That is what 1 hour can do. It builds masterpieces, whether they are paintings, businesses, books, or lives. The power of 1 hour lies not just in what you do with it, but in what it does to you. When you dedicate a focused hour to growth every day, you send yourself a message. that you matter, that your dreams matter, that you are willing to fight for a better life. It is not about the clock, it is about the commitment. So that 1 hour is a contract with yourself, a daily reminder that you are building something, even when no one is watching. We often believe that great success requires great leaps, sudden, dramatic action that changes everything overnight. But in truth, success is quiet, steady, persistent. It is forged in moments when no one is applauding, when no one even knows you are working. The hour you dedicate today will not bring instant applause. No one will throw you a parade for choosing to spend an hour studying, creating, planning, or improving yourself. But day after day, as those hours accumulate, people will begin to notice something different about you. They will say you have changed, but you will know that you have simply chosen, over and over again, to invest in yourself. Think about a sculptor standing before a rough block of stone. Each strike of the chisel seems small. The stone barely changes with each blow, but the sculptor knows what he is doing. He is patient, he is deliberate. And then one day the shape inside the stone is revealed and everyone marvels. Your 1 hour a day is your chisel. Each hour chips away at fear, at doubt, at ignorance, at old habits. Each hour reveals a little more of the person you were meant to be. The truth is, most people will never give themselves this gift. They will wait for more time, not realizing that time is never given, only claimed. So they will let their days be consumed by urgencies that do not matter and wonder why they feel stuck. But not you. You are here because you are ready to claim your hour. And when you do, you will begin to see the difference. At first, it will be small. A new idea, a new insight, a sense of calm and control that others don't have. Then as days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to months, you will feel yourself transforming. You will begin to trust yourself more. You will think differently, act differently. You will realize that the hour you once thought was small has become the most powerful part of your day. That is the power of 1 hour. It is the smallest unit of time we can choose to control, yet it holds within it the capacity to transform everything. And once you taste the strength, the clarity, the confidence that comes from owning that hour, you will never want to give it back. Consistency over intensity. Now that we understand the power of dedicating 1 hour to our growth, we must confront one of the greatest misconceptions that holds people back. The belief that massive, intense effort is what produces lasting change. The truth is, intensity can be exciting, but it is consistency that is life-changing. Most people get fired up for a short while. They start with passion, they go all in for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, and then they stop. Why? Because intensity burns bright but burns out fast. Consistency, however, is like a steady flame. It may seem small, but it can light your entire path if you keep it burning. Think of water. A rushing flood can make a dramatic splash, but it is the gentle, persistent stream that carves valleys, shapes landscapes, and transforms entire regions over time. Your 1 hour a day works the same way. If you use it with consistency, even when it feels boring, even when no one notices, even when you don't feel like it, it will create deep, lasting change that intensity alone cannot match. The danger of relying only on intensity is that it depends on mood. It depends on inspiration, on excitement, on motivation being at its peak. But life doesn't always hand you perfect conditions. There will be days when you are tired, when your schedule is heavy, when you don't feel inspired at all. Those are the days when most people quit. But consistency is not about how you feel in the moment. It is about who you have decided to be. Let me tell you something that will change how you see this journey. Success is built on ordinary days, not extraordinary days, not perfect days, ordinary days, done well over and over. So the 1 hour you dedicate every day is powerful not because it is dramatic, but because it is dependable. It becomes a rhythm, a part of who you are, as natural as eating or sleeping. When you focus on consistency, something beautiful happens. Momentum begins to build. The first few days you may not notice much, the progress is invisible. But as you show up again and again, your mind begins to trust you. You begin to trust yourself. You start seeing results, subtle at first. More focus, more energy, more clarity. That is the reward of staying consistent long enough for the seeds you planted to grow roots. This is why I urge you, don't wait for the perfect time to start, and don't quit just because the progress feels slow. That is where most people go wrong. They look for instant results. And when they don't see them, they decide it isn't working. But success is not an event, it is a process. The hours you invest are accumulating even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Think of a bamboo plant. For years, it appears that nothing is happening above the ground, but beneath the surface its roots are spreading, growing deep and wide. Then almost overnight, the bamboo shoots up several feet into the air. People call it sudden growth. But it wasn't sudden, it was years of unseen work that made that moment possible. Your 1 hour a day works the same way. Every hour you show up consistently is extending your roots, preparing you for that moment when you rise and everyone sees the transformation. Consistency will ask something of you. It will ask for discipline, for patience, for faith in yourself and in the process. It will ask you to show up when the excitement is gone, when no one is clapping, when the voice in your head says, "What's the point?" But if you answer that call, if you do the work anyway, you will discover that you are stronger than your moods, more powerful than your excuses. And that discovery will change how you see yourself forever. Intensity might give you a burst of progress, but consistency will give you a new identity. It will turn you into someone who doesn't just dream about change but lives it. And when you become that person, the results are no longer temporary. They are a reflection of who you are. That is why consistency, not intensity, is the true key to lasting success. The silent compounding effect. If consistency is the engine that drives change, then compounding is the invisible force that multiplies its impact. Most people underestimate the incredible power of compounding because it works quietly, almost imperceptibly at first. But make no mistake, it is one of the most powerful forces in life. 1 hour a day may feel small in the moment, but when repeated consistently, it begins to create a snowball effect, gathering momentum until it becomes unstoppable. Think of it this way: when you put a single drop of water into a bucket, it seems like nothing. But keep adding drop after drop, day after day, and eventually that bucket overflows. The same is true of the hours you dedicate to your growth. Each day adds something, a new idea, a new skill, a new layer of confidence. Alone, each hour may not feel significant, but together they build something extraordinary. One of the greatest examples of compounding is found in the world of finance. If you invest a small amount of money every day, it grows slowly at first, almost too slowly to notice. But over time, interest is added not only to your original investment, but also to the interest you've already earned. That is the magic of compounding, growth building on top of growth. And the same principle applies to personal growth. The books you read, the exercises you do, the time you spend learning, each hour builds on the hour before it, creating a foundation of knowledge, skill, and character that makes the next hour even more powerful. The beauty of compounding is that it doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you are. Every hour you invest in yourself increases your capacity to use the next hour more effectively. At first, you might struggle to focus for a full hour. You may feel restless or distracted, but stay with it, and soon you'll find that your ability to focus grows stronger. Your mind becomes sharper, more disciplined, more creative. And as you grow, the returns on your hour become greater. The work you do in hour 1 will not produce the same result as the work you do in hour 100, because by then, you will have evolved into someone far more capable, far more skilled, far more powerful. This is why so many people give up too soon. They look for immediate rewards. They expect to see dramatic results after a few days or weeks, and when they don't, they assume it isn't working. But compounding does not reveal its magic right away. It hides it, testing you, asking if you are willing to keep going even when there is no applause, no obvious payoff. Those who quit early never see the harvest, but those who persist are rewarded with results so big they seem almost miraculous to outsiders. Think about an ice cube sitting in a room just below freezing. You can add heat to the room for a long time and nothing seems to happen, until suddenly at 32 degrees the ice begins to melt. Did the last degree cause the change? No. It was the accumulation of all the degrees before it. That is what your hours are doing, raising the temperature of your life, preparing you for the moment when change becomes visible. The silent compounding effect teaches us to respect the process, to trust that what we are doing today matters, even if we cannot yet see the results. It reminds us that greatness is built in the dark, in quiet moments of practice, in lonely hours of study, in the choices no one else sees. And then, one day the world will see the visible evidence, the success, the transformation, the breakthrough, and they will call it sudden. But you will know the truth. You will know that it was not sudden at all. It was earned hour by hour through the steady, patient accumulation of effort. When you embrace this truth, you stop rushing the process. You stop comparing yourself to others. You realize that every hour you put in is not wasted. It is stored. It is gathering power, preparing you for a future that is beyond anything you can imagine right now. And when the results finally come, they will come with such force, such speed, that it will seem like everything changed overnight. But you will smile, because you will know you had been building toward that moment all along. The hour of truth, the hour you set aside for yourself each day, is not just time on a clock. It is a test. It is the hour of truth, the moment when your intentions meet reality. It is easy to talk about growth, to dream about success, to imagine a better future. But when that hour arrives, you face a choice: do you honor it, or do you let it slip away? This is where the difference between those who transform their lives and those who stay the same is made. Every day, the world will compete for that hour. Notifications will buzz. Distractions will call, your mind will tell you that you are tired, that it won't matter if you skip just this once. That is why this hour is so powerful, because to claim it, you must exercise discipline. You must make a decision not once, but every single day to say, this is my time. This is the hour when I will turn everything off and turn my life on. The truth is, this hour will reveal more about you than almost anything else. It will reveal your priorities, your discipline, your commitment to yourself. And in the beginning, it might feel like a battle. You might sit down to focus and feel the pull of distraction. You might notice how restless you are, how tempting it is to check your phone, how easy it would be to do something easier, something comfortable. But if you stay, if you push through that resistance, something begins to shift. That hour becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can step away from the noise of the world and hear your own thoughts clearly. A place where you are not reacting to life but deliberately creating it. And the more you honor this hour, the more sacred it becomes. Soon you will begin to look forward to it, to crave it, to protect it like you would protect something precious. There is a reason I call it the hour of truth. Because it does not lie to you. It gives you back exactly what you put into it. If you approach it with seriousness, with focus, with intention, it will reward you with growth, clarity, and progress. If you waste it, if you let it slip away to distraction, it will remind you that time once lost is gone forever. This is why so many people live with quiet regret. Not because they didn't have enough time, but because they didn't use the time they had. Think of an athlete training for a championship. Every practice session is their hour of truth. No one is watching them in those moments. The stadium is empty, the crowd is silent. But they know that these hours are where the victory is won, long before the competition ever begins. Your 1 hour a day is the same. It is where you prepare, where you sharpen your skills, where you build the strength you will need when life calls on you to perform. When you sit down for this hour, treat it with the respect it deserves. Do not come to it casually. Come with a plan. Decide what you will do with it before it arrives. Whether it is reading, writing, creating, practicing, studying, reflecting, make it count. And when distractions try to steal it, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the person you are becoming and the life you are building. This hour is also where you will meet yourself. Your excuses, your fears, your doubts. They will all show up whispering reasons to quit. But they are not there to stop you. They are there to strengthen you. Every time you resist the temptation to waste your hour, you build self-respect. Every time you choose to use it well, you become a little more disciplined, a little more focused, a little more powerful. The hour of truth will not always feel easy. Some days it will feel heavy. Some days it will feel frustrating. But those are the days when the most growth is happening. Because you are proving to yourself that you can keep going even when it is hard. And when you do that, you build something far more valuable than a habit. You build character. One day, you will look back and realize that this daily hour was where the turning point of your life began. It was where you stopped being a passive participant in your own story and became the author of it. And in that moment, you will understand why I call it the hour of truth. Because it showed you who you really are and who you are capable of becoming. Building the persons, not just the skill. When you dedicate 1 hour each day to growth, you may think that you are simply learning something new, reading a book, practicing a skill, studying an idea. But what you are truly building in that hour is far greater than any single ability. You are building yourself. You are shaping your character, forging your identity, becoming the kind of person who can handle success when it arrives. Because make no mistake, success is not just about what you do. It is about who you become. Far too often, people chase skills or knowledge as if collecting them will automatically transform their lives. They read a book, attend a seminar, watch a video, and expect instant results. But growth does not work like that. You can learn all the techniques in the world, but if you do not change the person using those techniques, nothing will stick. The hour you set aside every day is powerful because it is an hour of transformation. It is teaching you discipline, patience, focus, resilience. It is shaping your mindset, training your thoughts, strengthening your will. Think about a tree. Its branches, its leaves, its fruit are all visible to the world, but they are supported by something hidden, something no one sees: the roots. If the roots are weak, the tree cannot survive the storm, no matter how beautiful its branches may look. Your skills are like the branches, but your character is the root system, and this 1 hour a day is when you are deepening those roots. You are becoming grounded, strong, unshakable. This is why I say that the real product of your hour is not the knowledge you gain, but the person you become by gaining it. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you are proving something to yourself: that you can be trusted, that you are capable of keeping promises to yourself. This is one of the most powerful feelings in the world, because when you trust yourself, your confidence grows, your courage grows, and you begin to take bolder action in every area of your life. The world often rewards talent, but it always respects character. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but without integrity, without consistency, without discipline, it will not take you far. The person you are becoming in that hour is someone who does not just know more but lives differently. Someone who carries themselves with quiet confidence, who does not need to boast because their actions speak louder than words. In that hour, you are also building emotional strength. You are training yourself to delay gratification, to put aside short-term comfort for long-term reward. Every time you choose to use that hour for growth instead of distraction, you are wiring your brain to value the future over the immediate. And that is a rare and powerful thing in a world that is constantly pulling us toward instant gratification. Consider the difference between a person who spends their evenings mindlessly consuming content and a person who spends one focused hour reading, writing, creating, or reflecting. At first, there may seem to be no difference between them, but over months and years, their lives begin to look dramatically different. One becomes restless, dissatisfied, unsure why nothing is changing. The other becomes focused, intentional, quietly building a life that others will one day admire. This is why I urge you to see this hour not just as a time to gain skills, but as a time to build yourself into the kind of person who can create and sustain a great life. Because if you focus only on acquiring skills without building the inner strength to use them, you will always feel unsteady, as though you are waiting for something outside of you to make you whole. But when you build the person first, everything else becomes easier. The skills, the opportunities, the success, they will naturally flow to someone who has become the right kind of person. One day, you will look in the mirror and realize that the real change was not in what you learned but in who you became. You will see a person who is calmer, more focused, more courageous, more alive. That is the ultimate reward of your daily hour, the creation of a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself. And once you have become that person, nothing can take it away from you.